Serial cheating and blackout binges. These celebrity couples made it back from the brink together. At the time of Kobe Bryant's tragic death in 2020, he and wife Vanessa were happily married with 4 beautiful children. The couple's near 20-year marriage was not always smooth sailing, however, and the pair nearly divorced in 2011. Bryant met 18-year-old Vanessa Lane while she was still in high school and he was starting his NBA career. At the time, Bryant was an aspiring rapper, and it was on the set of one of his music videos that he met Lane. It was love at first sight. The former NBA player recalled their introduction in the 2015 documentary Kobe Bryant's Muse, saying,
"It was a 2-day video shoot, and I was always looking for her. Like, I wanted to know where she was."
Of their first encounter, Bryant went on to say,
"She wrote her phone number down at the time when you had to still write phone numbers down, and I called her the very next day, and we talked for hours."
Bryant and Lane married in April 2001 and went on to have 4 daughters: Natalia, Gianna, Bianca, and Capri. The couple's relationship survived Bryant's 2003 sexual assault case, but in 2011, Vanessa filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. By 2013, the pair were back together and remained so until the tragic deaths of Kobe and daughter Gianna in 2020. Rappers Cardi B and Offset met at Super Bowl 51 in 2017 and started dating right away. They secretly wed later that year, but a sex tape of Offset with another woman quickly surfaced. Despite Offset's cheating, the couple remained together through the birth of their daughter Culture in June 2018. They separated shortly after. By January 2019, the pair appeared to be mending their relationship. A source told E! News at the time, "Cardi has been focusing more on how they are going to work this out. The negativity of their relationship has blown over and she's staying positive that it will work." However, Cardi B filed for divorce in September 2020, after Offset cheated once again. Cardi insisted her marriage was broken beyond repair and there was no chance of getting back together. They did get back together, however.
What's your favorite quality about him?
Everything. I love that man.
By November, the divorce petition was dismissed and the two welcomed their second child Wave in September 2021. Ben Stiller and Christine Taylor's separation after 17 years of marriage left many shocked. The actors initially met in 1999 on the set of Heat Vision and Jack, a sci-fi comedy pilot which never made it to air. Stiller told Entertainment Tonight in 2007, "When I met her, I pretty much thought that's the person." The couple wed in May 2000. Stiller and Taylor have appeared together in many iconic movie comedies, including Zoolander, Dodgeball, and Tropic Thunder. They have 2 children, Ella and Quinlan. On the outside, Stiller and Taylor seemed to be the perfect couple, but their private differences came to a head in 2017. In May of that year, they announced they'd split, but the pandemic changed things, and the couple reconciled while quarantining together in 2020. In an interview with Esquire, Stiller revealed, "We were separated and got back together, and we're happy about that. Unexpected, and one of the things that came out of the pandemic." Rapper Snoop Dogg started dating Shante Broadus in high school in the 1990s. In an interview with Vlad TV, Snoop Dogg detailed the early days of their romance, saying, "I had to go over there and meet her mother and date her for like 4 months before I was able to kiss her. I had to call her on the phone, I had to write love letters." The pair married on June 14, 1997 and have 3 children together: Corday, Cordell, and Corey. Broadus supported her husband at the start of his rap career. By the early 2000s, they'd hit a rough patch, and Snoop Dogg filed for divorce in 2004. The separation was short-lived, and they reconciled shortly after. In an interview with MTV, Snoop Dogg said, "I was trying to get a divorce, but I went back home and I fell back in love with my wife and kids. I understand that I need my wife and my kids in my life, so I threw the papers away. I don't want to get a divorce." The couple renewed their vows in 2008, proving that true love is unbreakable. Grey's Anatomy heartthrob Patrick Dempsey first met Jillian Fink in 1994 when he went to her salon for a haircut. On meeting for the first time, Fink recalled to People, "I was shocked, but at the same time, I was happy because he was so cute." Both were in other relationships at the time, however. They didn't start dating until 1997 and married 2 years later. Together, they have 3 children, Tallulah and twin boys Darby and Sullivan. By 2015, their marriage had collapsed and Fink filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. In a joint statement, the couple announced, "It is with careful consideration and mutual respect that we have decided to end our marriage." However, in 2016, they called off the divorce. Dempsey explained to People, "Jill and I decided it was time to work on our issues and improve. Our union has to be the priority. I wasn't prepared to give up on her, and she wasn't either. We both wanted to fight for it." R&B singer Ne-Yo met model Crystal Renay in 2015 and they started dating soon after. Ne-Yo told People, "From that first encounter, I knew there was something different about her, something special." The pair tied the knot in February 2016 and have 3 children together: Schaefer, Roman, and Isabella. Before Ne-Yo and Renay welcomed their 3rd child, however, they separated and filed for divorce. In an interview with podcast Private Talk with Alexis Texas, Ne-Yo discussed the separation. "We realized that our demons don't mesh, and until the both of us get a hold of our personal demons, it's gonna be just difficult for us to stay married." Months later, however, Ne-Yo and Renay reunited. In an appearance on The Talk, the singer attributed their healing to the circumstances of the coronavirus pandemic. "The quarantine forced us to sit still, block out the noise from the world. You know, the world can get very, very loud, and we tend to let the world's opinion mean more in certain situations than it should."
We love each other. We love each other beyond a shadow of any doubt. And nothing is stronger than that.
The couple married for a second time in April 2022. Pop rock icon Pink met motocross star Carey Hart in 2001. The couple dated for 2 years before temporarily splitting up in 2003, but married just 3 years later. They have 2 children together, Willow and Jameson. While Pink and Hart have a strong marriage now, the pair filed for divorce 2 years after saying "I do." The What About Us singer shared details of their split on her website at the time, writing, "This breakup is not about cheating, anger, or fighting. I know it sounds like cliche bullshit, but we are best friends, and we will continue to be." Pink and Hart were separated for 11 months before reconciling in 2009. Pink opened up about their split in an interview with Redbook, explaining that their schedules made marriage difficult. "Carey would see me for 5 days and be gone for 6 weeks. We'd try to fix everything in those 5 days. You just can't do that." The couple reunited after Pink gave Hart a photo album that included sentimental items like cards and photos of the couple over the years. They never signed the divorce papers, and the rest is history. Jean-Claude Van Damme's marriage to former pro bodybuilder Gladys Portugues has had plenty of ups and downs. The couple married for the first time in 1987, just as Van Damme's acting career began to take off. The pair had 2 children together, Christopher and Bianca. 5 years after tying the knot, however, the couple divorced and went their separate ways. Van Damme married Darcy Lapierre and had a child with her before divorcing 3 years later. By 1999, the Muscles from Brussels and Gladys Portugues reconciled and remarried. They remained together for 15 years before Portugues filed for divorce again, citing irreconcilable differences. 2 months later, the divorce was apparently off. As Van Damme told TMZ, "The JCVD family still strong. The kids are strong, the wife is strong. Couples have to work through their stuff together no matter what. They have to grow." They say the 3rd time's the charm, but for Van Damme and Portugues, the 2nd seems to be the winner. Legendary rock star Ozzy Osbourne first met Sharon Arden in the 1970s through her father, Don Arden, the manager for Black Sabbath. When Ozzy went solo, Sharon became his manager, and the two started a relationship. They married in 1982 and have 3 children together, Amy, Kelly, and Jack. Over the years, their marriage was strained by Ozzy's alcoholism. Sharon remained by her husband's side through his struggles, but the worry took an incredible toll on her. She confessed to Variety that she spent years worrying he would die. "I would always make sure that there was somebody there checking on him through the night when he was on the road without me, but it was always in the front of my mind." The rocker got sober in 2013, but divorce rumors were rampant. Nonetheless, the couple remained together for 3 more years before announcing their separation in May 2016.
"I'm 63 years of age, and I can't keep living like this."
Ozzy moved out of their home, but the two were soon back together, with Ozzy telling Good Morning America that they had just, quote, "hit a bump in the road." If you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction issues, help is available. Visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357.